What's good, y'all? This is Kenneth Frank, motherfucking James Barry. I'm just playing. Kenneth Barry here. Solo this week. Pete's handling some business in New York. Shout out to Pete. Stay safe. Get a fucking haircut, by the way, while you're out there, please. Like, I started a hashtag. Get a black or Dominican barber. You're in New York. You're in Hell's Kitchen. You're jet setting. Shout out to the homie Corey Bromfield, filmmaker out there. Went to school in Jersey, but he claims Brooklyn. So yeah, y'all should link up. Do whatever. Buy some Timbs. Go to the bodega. Whatever. But yeah, get you a quality haircut while you're out in New York. There's nothing quite like it. So yeah, round of applause for Pete. Jet set and making movies at his job. Now, there's a lot on the docket tonight. Gonna be quite interesting, I'll say. I mean, this week, honestly, has been kind of slow as far as sports go, but oh shit, what was that? Sorry, guys. Hope y'all didn't hear that. But anyway. So, Le'Veon Bell, this entire situation. Fuck. Ooh. Alright, cool. Le'Veon Bell, as far as the situation goes, was spotted, it was reported he was spotted at like a LA Fitness, which of course he would be. I don't know why people go to LA Fitness like that. That shit's not even that cool, but whatever. Went to LA Fitness, shooting some basketball. Now, I know what some of y'all are thinking. You're really going to risk it all by playing pickup basketball at LA Fitness. Aaron Boone, a baseball player, once tore his ACL. Playing pickup basketball in his park, in his garage, or in his driveway. So, even in baseball, no matter what it is, there's like certain things in your contract you shouldn't be doing. But clearly, Le'Veon gives no fucks after, dropping his mixtape in Miami, going jet skiing, all that, living the life, healing his body, which again, I've been on the record multiple times to say, I'm here for all of that. Get your money, because, let's be honest, no matter what field you're in, whether you're a content creator, whether you're an NFL player, whatever it is, even if you were born filthy rich, people are going to try to fuck you out of your money and what you're worth. And when it comes to negotiations, sorry if I sound nasally, still kind of recovering. Pretty fucked up. Really got to stop cursing too. I know you're listening, Mom. I'm sorry. Anyway, when it comes down to negotiations, you get what you can negotiate for. You never really get what you feel like you're truly worth a lot of the time. And in his case, his attorney not his attorney, but his agent, in an article on CBS Sports, it'll be on the rundown, don't worry, we'll post it on our Medium page. We're actually starting that blog back up again, so yeah, it'll be there. His agent discovered pretty much a loophole, essentially to where he can still sit out the whole year, this entire year, and technically he'll be a free agent in the new CBA. The old CBA, he'd be screwed, but the new CBA, apparently there's a article like 2-1A, something like that, to where essentially he can not only sit out, but he'll be given a transitional tag, and he can only sign with the Steelers. And if they sign him, they offer him a franchise tag, essentially that money will go up like 120%, and he'll be getting quarterback money, which means he could potentially make $25 million on a franchise/transitional player tag, which would be great for him to give $25 million in 1 year. That would be fantastic. Now, some people say, why did it take so long? Yeah, I've some worries with that, and the fact that it leaked, and that like some people were saying this might happen. I don't know what Le'Veon's doing, but he's already in Pittsburgh, and it's probably, I feel like reporting to Pittsburgh to camp, or not to camp, but to the team, is probably the last resort. And the way that offense is rolling without him, because they were definitely rolling on the Panthers. They are, yeah, Panthers. It's amazing. Like, shitty offensive line, somewhat great defense, getting better. And yet they give up like a 72-yard touchdown on like Pittsburgh's first offensive play. Shout out to everyone who has Juju Smith-Schuster in fantasy football. But with Le'Veon, it's weird that the Steelers didn't trade him and try to get any value back. At this point, it's kind of just, we'll just wait you out and bleed you dry. With him, hopefully he has a plan, because if this little loophole thing doesn't work, he goes back. He's essentially stuck. He's stuck with the Steelers. That's who will retain his rights. And for him, I hope it actually works out. I hope that would be the greatest finesse, honestly. And then they'll probably rewrite all these rules. And I'm going to get to the NFL CBA at the end of the show in my closing rant, because it kind of it heightens me back to voting and all the craze this week. Again, talk about that at the end of the show. But it's kind of just, it's amazing to see one player go through this much just to get paid. And part of it is almost like, dude, it's not even really worth it. But again, I harken back to the story of Curt Flood, famous Cincinnati Reds player who essentially died broke. He's the reason they have free agency arbitration in baseball, because he held out. He felt like the team shouldn't own his rights. He should be able to go and sign wherever he wants. You can go look up the Curt Flood story. And yes, he was a black man. It's crazy. It's really shocking to see how NFL players get paid crap compared to other sports. I mean, we could just look at the Washington Wizards' entire roster and see who's getting paid a bunch of money, and damn, some of them are getting paid more than Aaron Rodgers. Shit's disgusting. It's filthy. So I, for one, totally rooting for Le'Veon. He's checking back in this week. He has till Tuesday to sign his franchise tag. But if they find that loophole, oh man, is it going to piss a lot of people off. We might even see that so-called strike come sooner rather than later. Because young cats got to know, even if you don't end up like Le'Veon Bell, let's say you want to be a player better than him or greater than him, guess what? You're going to be in a worse off position than him anyway. We can just look at the fact that he wasn't the first round pick helps. So they have to kind of pay him sooner rather than later. Look at the Khalil Mack situation in Oakland. How horribly they just botched that entire situation. It's really gross. So when you really sit back and think about, okay, how could this be any worse for Le'Veon? Not really, man. If you're at this point, you got to go as far as you can, expose all the loopholes you can, and hopefully the market will change for running backs in general. Like, there's this log jam with cats wanting to get paid and them doing this. I feel like when it comes to just how we relate in the real world, and whether it be working a blue-collar job, whatever, a lot of us don't talk enough to each other about our salaries. I know, I have coworkers. We talk like, how much you make? How much you make? You get a raise yet? Nah. I think that's important, because I think if everybody knows how much everybody else is making, then we can actually get some answers in. I think you see it in corporate America a lot. People are afraid to know what everybody else is making. But honestly, if it was just all out in the open, Then we can start negotiations. Then bosses and everybody else are going to have to be held accountable. You know, people are going to have to be held accountable for what they do. You're going to have to start asking, why is Joe and Human Resources making all this money, but he has mad allegations against them for being an asshole, where, let's say, Chuck, whoever, in the same department, been there longer than the other guy, still hasn't gotten paid. NFL. You got a guy like Le'Veon who's been around longer than some other guys who have already gotten paid, and they're just going through all this red tape, not willing to pay him. It's honestly, you got to do what you got to do. But anyway, on to the next topic. The Rams finally lost. They kind of got their ass kicked by the New Orleans Saints. Now, they did come back towards the end of the game. Malcolm Brown, running back. And I don't normally compliment Texas players. If you've listened to this broadcast, you know why. By the way, shout out to our affiliates. X-Squad affiliates. Shout out to Full Press Coverage. Damn, Pete always does that. Anyway. Shout out to Full Press Coverage, man. They do really good work, especially when it comes to the Raiders. Shout out to Terry Biggs. Shout out to the whole squad, Ray. I'm totally spacing out on people's names because I'm still sick. Sorry, guys. But anyway. Drew Brees played as good as you could possibly play against, on paper, what looked like a Super Bowl defense. Yeah, Dante Fowler Jr. got traded to the Rams. It was, from the looks of it, and it still is, a great pickup. Hopefully they can re-sign him. But their linebackers just aren't good enough. They have Littleton, they have Fowler, the other two guys, the pass rusher out of Virginia isn't really doing much, and Barron is really just a coverage guy. So, the main dude getting picked on is Marcus Peters. Now, I love my Bay Area brethren, but Marcus Peters has been playing like shit against quality teams. And Michael Thomas took him to the woodshed. Franchise record 211 receiving yards and a touchdown, which was the back-breaking, it was like a 70-yard touchdown, where he got beat. And Michael Thomas is by no means a burner. I mean, technically neither is Marcus Peters. He ran like a 4.52, but Thomas burned him. And then he looked around mad for help. No, Michael Thomas he burned you badly. It was pretty embarrassing. And then Michael Thomas had a celebration where he pretty much copied verbatim the famous Joe Horn cell phone celebration that Joe Horn did years ago against the Giants that pissed off Troy Aikman and Michael Strahan. Now, I would say, if you don't want someone to score a soul-crushing touchdown on your team and then celebrate that way, then maybe you should keep them out of the end zone. Oh, shit, we have a call. All right, then. Hello, caller. What is your name and where are you calling from?
Yo, this is PG Camarillo, co-host of Touchdowns and Tangent.
Lit. Hey, what's up, Pete?
It's good, man.
Fighting through this respiratory infection. But other than that, man, how's
the usual?
That was cheap, sir. That was a little blow. How's New York, man?
Pretty sure you got me sick too.
No, I didn't. Don't know.
Talk about it, bro.
I can't get you sick, and you're already in New York, bro. And did you get a haircut yet? The world's
I've
been
been sick for 2 weeks, man.
Not my
I
fault.
don't even want to talk about New York. Don't even ask me about it, bro.
Bro,
out.
bare your heart right now. How is New York? How are the bodegas treating you? Did you buy any Timbs?
Next question.
Have you linked up with Corey yet? He's in Brooklyn.
Next